So I learned two things. One, I've known for a while, but just didn't process, didn't like figure it out. And this is something I've been doing for 2 years now almost. It's called TKN and Trevor Cashy Nutrition. I'm doing the cognitive program. And one thing that's like super important, which I've always thought about but never knew how to do for myself, is the SRO model. SRO model. Also, before we get into that, it's a complete side note. Did you know if you're naked in your own apartment in Canada and your windows are like open because you forgot to close them and you never close them, it's illegal. It's considered indecent exposure. And I'm like, stop looking through my fucking window, bro. Anyways, we're no longer naked in our apartments anymore because I don't want to close my windows because I have a decent view and it's sunny outside. So I'm not allowed to be naked. Now, actually, on to the important thing. So the SRO model is stimulus response outcome. I don't know if it was developed by Dr. Trevor Cashy, but he's the guy who taught it. So he's the guy I know who knows it. Um, so here's like a thing. I am bored. I see fridge. Response, I see fridge. Outcome, I eat. So in this apartment, what I've learned is before when I was bored, I would just like continue working or just play video games or go on a walk or something. But now when I am bored, I see fridge when I turn like this. When seeing fridge, I eat. That is the outcome. So the SRO model, I think, is actually like really, really clutch because something happens, stimulus, something happens, right? And then a response happens because of that something. And then it has an outcome, which is either favorable to you or unfavorable to you, depending on what you want. For me, I don't want to be snacking all day. So it is an unfavorable outcome for me. But it is something that I don't think people think about, and it for a year and a half, it never clicked for me how it applied to my life, even though they would give like tons of examples. And I guess after enough examples, it clicked. And that this is something that I can apply to my own life and that is useful for my own life. And I think it's something that you can apply to your life. What is the stimulus? What is the response that you have because of that stimulus? And then what is the outcome? Once you figure out that entire thing, you can pretty much regulate and change and modulate your behavior at any one point, right? Because you just interrupt before the stimulus happens or after the stimulus happens, and then you can change your outcome. Anyways, it's super interesting. It finally clicked for me because I was like, in this apartment, it clicked. I don't know why. I haven't been doing the lessons. I should be, and I plan to do them. Um, but I was just like, dude, I get bored, then I turn and I see my fridge, and that the response becomes, "Oh, I should grab food because I'm hungry." I'm not hungry, I'm bored. And the outcome is I feel like shit afterwards because I ate food that I wasn't hungry for. Does that make sense? Um, so like this past week, my caloric intake has been sort of wild. Um, it's been really high. So I try to average 2,200 calories roughly. Um, but I've been like hitting 24, 2,700 just because stimulus, bored, response, fridge, outcome, I eat, and then I feel like shit. And so this is something to apply for your own life. If you're trying to like lose weight, if you're trying to change a behavior, if you're trying to just figure out like what's going wrong, look at the stimulus that's causing a response and then look at the outcome that is like coming from that. And it might click for you right away, like what I just said, even though I gave like not the best examples or best anything. But if it clicks for you, that's incredible. If it doesn't, it will or won't at some point. And I doubt TKN will have an issue with me publishing this because I'm just talking about what I learned. Um, but yeah, if you're serious about changing your outcomes, I would highly recommend TKN. I made a different video reviewing them before. They helped me go from 165 to 150 pounds. Now you're like, oh, that's only 15 pounds in like 6 months or something. Before that, I would drop from 185 to 165 pounds. So I was 185 for a long time. Not a long time, like probably like a couple of months. But I was like, holy shit, what the fuck am I doing? I'm turning into a fucking mess. And then talking to Dr. Kashi, just like personally, like just I messaged him and he just replied. He gave me some tips and like some information and stuff, just to like watch out for it. He's just like, do this. And then I dropped from 185 to 165 in like 6 months or something like that. Very like reasonable, steady progress, not anything, not one shotting like 10 pounds or one shotting 5 pounds. It was consistent effort over time. And then 165, I got stuck. I got really stuck at 165. And then they helped me go down to 165 to 150. And I was pretty consistent with 150 for a while. And then I was like, I don't know if this is the weight I want to settle on. And so the past 8 months or so, I've been modulating my weight quite a bit. I've been settling from 152 to 160 and just seeing what feels better. I do know, so I'm getting a DEXA scan done. This is separate. I'm getting a DEXA scan done in like a week and a half or a week and like 2 days. And so we will see how fat I am, and I'll record that because I think it'll be very large in terms of fat. And then ideally, what I want to do is do a full recomp. And I should have done this before I started the second year of TKN because it would have been really useful to have like a starting point, but I didn't. Um, so then I probably want to do a recomp from going. I sort of want to modulate my weight between 155 to 175 in muscle, like lean muscle. That won't really happen, but like if I could drop my body fat percentage on a DEXA, so I'll be getting another DEXA 6 months or a year from now. Um, I'd want to be like 15 to 18% body fat. That would be really, really good for me on a DEXA. Visually, I don't know how that'll look, but I do like eating. I like eating quite a bit. So increasing my muscle mass, um, and therefore my weight from what I am right now, which is like 157, 158, something like that, to 170 would be pretty incredible. Especially if it's muscle. Give me a sec. I'm gonna look at something right now. TDE calculator. This is I'll link a TDE calculator. You can just Google it. You can use whatever. It is actually very useful. Okay, I'm 28. Let's say I'm 170. I'm not 5'9". I'm like so. If I do God damn, that's it. Oh, that's because I did it wrong. Hold on. 170 pounds. That'll put my caloric expenditure if I'm light exercise, which realistically I do more than light exercise, but this is based upon the I think 80s or 90s. Um, but then I can sorry, I hit the mic. Um, my daily expenditure will be 2359 to 2700 if I go into moderate exercise. That will be sick. Because right now I am let's go 155, 5'8", light exercise. My daily expenditure is 2200, which is like, let's say 18% body fat. Yeah, it's like 2200. And then if I go up to 175, it's 2400, which is pretty good. So what if you drop this down to like 12%? God damn. Anyways, that's it. That's the video. SRO. Give it a shot. Check out TKN, Trevor Cashy Nutrition. I'll link it down below. I'm not affiliated in the slightest. I just think if more people did that program, their lives would be better. As my life has improved by doing it. Have a great day.